Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. Russian army is about to run out. Ukrainian army has made historical progress on the front. Russian Navy is facing a great loss. NASAMS and Patriot systems will soon enter service with the Ukrainian army. Russia continues to run out. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made critical statements. Sounds of explosions from the Crimea and Belgorod provinces frighten the Russian army. Turkey can increase its role in the war. According to the statement made by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Russia lost 710 soldiers, 4 tanks, 7 armored combat vehicles, 4 artillery systems, and 4 unmanned aerial vehicles in the last 24 hours. While most of the Russian casualties are concentrated in the Bakhmut and Solder regions, important statements keep coming. Accordingly, missile and artillery units of the Ukrainian army targeted Russian command centers and ammunition depots in their attacks during the day. It is stated that a total of 2 Russian command centers, 200 soldiers, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed in the Ukrainian attacks. In addition, the Ukrainian Air Force carried out important operations against Russian troops. Accordingly, Ukrainian warplanes carried out 14 attacks on areas under the control of the Russian army. Another target of the attacks was Russian anti-aircraft systems. A total of 4 Russian anti-aircraft systems are thought to have been affected by the Ukrainian attacks. In addition, according to the press service of the Southern Operational Command of Ukraine, the Russian army tried to organize organized attacks with a large number of drones in the Mykolaiv region. While the attacks were prevented by the Ukrainian air defense systems, it is stated that a large number of unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed. System used by Russia in these attacks was introduced as Orlan 10. In addition, the Russian army carried out attacks with 2 rocket attacks and 7 multi-barrel rocket systems, including infrastructure facilities in the Donetsk and Kherson provinces. In addition, Russia frequently uses its navy forces to compensate for these losses. Especially the Russian Navy forces deployed in the south of Ukraine and around the Crimean Peninsula pose a threat to the Ukrainian troops. But the Ukrainians continue to crush the Russian Navy. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that a Russian ship was destroyed. It is stated that the Russian ship was destroyed near the Dnipro River. Investigations into the attack are currently ongoing. In the meantime, it is claimed that explosion sounds were heard from the Crimean Peninsula and the Belgorod region. Military officials in Crimea claimed that the explosions were caused by Russian air defense systems. We know that the Ukrainian army has the ability to attack this region. However, the Ukrainian attack, which is expected to take place on the Crimean Peninsula, is expected to begin in the coming spring. On the other hand, according to the claims of Russian sources, the reason for the explosion sounds coming from the Belgorod Oblast is air defense systems. However, according to Vyacheslav Glakov, head of the Belgorod Oblast, the Ukrainian army launched fierce attacks on this region. There is no evidence corroborating Gladkov's claims. Attack of the Ukrainian army on this region is not a priority at this stage, because the current center of the war is mainly the Solder region. Regarding the issue, Hanna Maliar, deputy head of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, said that the Ukrainian army showed very strong resistance in the Solder region. Maliar's statements point out that the Russian army has recently increased its attacks in this region, but many Ukrainian officials, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, agree that the situation in the region is stable. Fact that the Russian army cannot advance at the front is their biggest problem, because Russian weapons and ammunition stocks are about to run out. This situation is now known to all authorities. As a matter of fact, U.S. and Ukrainian sources announced that the firepower of Russian artillery systems is about to run out. Allegedly, 75% of the Russian army's strength is about to run out. In either case, the dramatic drop in artillery fire will make the biggest contribution to Russia's defeat, according to CNN sources. When we look at Ukraine, we see the opposite of Russia. Russian army mainly relies on the air force to break the power of the Ukrainian army. Air Force is the main force of the Russian army. In this regard, the Russian military claimed that it simultaneously destroyed 3 Ukrainian Su-25 attack aircraft in 24 hours. According to Russian claims, the planes tried to attack the positions of the Russian army, but the attacks were detected early and were blocked by Russian air defense systems. Information on this issue was officially announced by representatives of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation. However, independent sources did not make an official statement about these events, which the Russians claimed. Strength of the air force of the Ukrainian army is known. Air defense systems provided by Western countries significantly hinder the attacks of the Russian army. There are important developments in this regard. Canadian Defense Minister Anita Anand announced that Ottawa will purchase the NASAMS air defense system from the USA and will hand it over for Ukraine's needs. Anand added that NASAMS systems have an extremely high efficiency index, making Canadian assistance a valuable addition to Ukraine's defense capacity. In addition, the Pentagon confirmed the information published in the American media for the first time, based on sources, and reported that the training of Ukrainian operators on Patriot anti-aircraft missile systems will begin in the USA next week. According to Pentagon spokesman Patrick Ryder, this training will take about a month. It is stated that an average of 100 Ukrainian soldiers will receive training in the training that will begin at the base of the castle threshold in the US. A Patriot and NASAMS systems are extremely important to the Ukrainian army, because the most important class in a war is the Air Force. Both countries are aware of this situation. Russia wants to compensate for this situation by producing aircraft or using warplanes such as the Su-57. However, this has not happened so far. For this reason, Russia decided to strengthen its ground forces again. It is reported that Russia is sending new production T-90 tanks to the front. Exact number of trains sent to the region is currently unknown, but Russia will not be able to effectively use these tanks at the front, because the war in Ukraine is no longer a war in which ground forces can achieve great success. Both countries know how to fight against tanks and armored vehicles. Western countries continue to strengthen the Ukrainian army. Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala shared a photo showing him signing the weapon of the Czech T-72 main battle tank to be delivered to the Ukrainian army. Fiala had previously mentioned factories where Soviet-era MBTs were modernized before being shipped to Ukraine. In return for this transfer, the Czech army will receive German-made Leopard series tanks. In addition, Turkey began to make important artillery munitions to Ukraine. These systems are expected to be used to destroy new T-90 tanks heading to the region. NATO ally Turkey has started to send the first batches of dual-purpose developed ammunition produced during the Cold War period to Turkey as part of the joint production agreement signed with the United States. I expect this ammunition to make a difference at the front. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.